Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Valagar Aloevain back for some more Dungeons & Dragons Online. So for this quest here, it brings us back out into the Aloevain prison. Now in order to actually access this area here, you do need to head through the northern sections of Evening Star, and you'll be able to head by boat off to Aloevain here. Now we do have a chain, and that is all these guys right here. Now, it doesn't actually matter what order you do these quests in. All that matters is once you complete all of them, you will be able to pick up this one here. So they do have a specific order they recommend. However, storyline-wise, each one is their own individual quest. So what I'm going to do here is something a little bit different. And just the way that this area is set up, we are going to head straight in, and I'm going to show you how to get to each of these quests, generally when you're heading up the rotation. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to head into Aloevain prison here. Once inside, it is a Slayer area. Now you can actually talk to this guy right here, and he will transport you to any of the quests, though he does charge a Astral Shard fee, which I definitely do not recommend spending. It is overwhelmingly not worth the price. Now the first and easiest quest here we want to head to is the Drainage Culverts. Now this one here is almost directly straight into Aloevain prison. So we're just going to head in west, following this main road. So here we are again, just following the main road here. And until we actually get to this point here. Now these traps are random, so you may not get them on there. But right here, we want to actually head between these two buildings and follow it up to this gate here. On the other side of this gate is the quest. Now, as you see, we also did get some enemies to kill. As well, there is these little weird glowy kind of symbols. These are your journals. So these are your explorer points. Just click on them there, and it'll give you that experience. So for this, again, you want to head in, and it's going to bring us to our Drainage Culverts quest, which is Friends in Low Places. Now these quests can be a little difficult, especially to get all the optionals in them, and this one here is a little bit longer. Now as you'll notice, it is a decent amount of experience, 23,000. We did see a flash of 25, that's with the full daily bonus there. So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, give ourselves some buffs, and then we're going to head in. Now, as we head in, we have all these rats. Now, what I love about this quest here is these rats actually count towards the Slayer. So as we are killing these rats, you will get monsters killed. So just keep that in mind if you are looking to get some cheap, easy, free kills. Once you're done that, however, we do want to head in and actually talk to this survivor here near the entrance. And what we're going to do is we're going to get some information. Now, again, you do need to talk to this person. Once you're done talking, they die. And then we're going to head in. So to head in, you want to head northeast through this kind of passage here. And again, we have additional rats that we can kill. And because they are technically enemies, they can also spawn in Reapers. Alright, there we go. You can also kill the dog here as well for some extra kill count. Now at this point, you're going to want to head deeper in. It gives you an option to continue heading off east or head off to the south. Now we can head east. All there is in here is a couple of breakables and a chest at the top of a waterfall, and of course more rats. Now the chest we can't actually access at this point. You need to come in from another direction in order to be able to loot that there. So the only direction that we can head is south. Now heading south, we are going to come across a boss enemy. He is just an orange name, so all slay living effects and all that will work. Though typically speaking, he is a champion, so you do just got to watch out. They'll also have a bunch of these little condemned people. They're really easy. They kind of fall quite quickly. And then you just want to go ahead and take him out. Alright, now once he is defeated, you want to head here, and again it jumps into two different directions. Typically speaking, most groups head off to the left, heading on the eastern path, simply because you can get actually more XP out of this path than the other path. It has a few optionals. So the first bit here, we're going to have a nice little group of these lizard folk. In our luck, we got 2 Fear Reapers. So it's going to really double up that stack quick. And some remnants. So now we're going to head deeper in. More rats. There we go. So at this point, it does kind of elbow around, and we have a whole bunch of guys just beating on the wall here. They will try to break it, and as you'll notice, we also have these trap smiths. Now these trap smiths, they will be laying down traps, which you can disable. Now this is where it gets a little bit messy. A lot of these traps are placed underneath the floor, but they will still go off. So as you can see, we can't even disable them, but we can set them off, which is dangerous just because they still hurt you. You can break these for breakables and, or rather, misadventure kills. Alright, so that's this path here. So I am going to again continue going through. So if you head to the back, we do have an adventure pack. And here's our first major camp. Now when we arrive at these camps, we are going to see Wayloon elders. We're also going to have crests inside of barriers. Now in order to get the crest, which we do need to get, we are going to have to talk to the elder and assist them in defending the camp. Now for this one here in particular, it is only going to spawn enemies right out of this grate here. So if you have like a disco ball or any type of crowd controlling effect, this is where you're going to want to be. So we're going to get that started right here. So all you do is talk to them. They're going to kind of, are you sure we're under attack? And here we go. So some of them are going to try and run off. Most of them, Famine Reaper. Most of them will stay up here if you are up here. Though these guys did not want to. Alright, so here we go. Now as you're fighting, they will also use their own enemy, like your allies will also assist you. So, and he got owned. I too might get owned here. Now, the objective is to protect the Elder. Now, you can let essentially anyone else die, but if the Elders die, it doesn't fail you or anything like that. It does limit you from being able to get the optional, which is a little extra XP, and it is a nice little boost. But again, not super important in the overall grand scheme of things here. So there we are, as you see, 770 XP. We got an Elder there. But the main Elder that we wanted to save wasn't this guy, it was this one here, which is the camp leaders. So there's our crest. Once you're done this section, if you do need, it does provide you with a nice little shrine, and you can head on there. Now, on this side as well, you can actually head near the shrines and head north. This will actually lead you up and around, allowing you to get that chest that was up top here. As you can see, we also have a few rats for some additional extra kills, but it's nothing major. So we're gonna just head up, and here we are. So as we get around to the corner, we do see some lizard folk. So you get an option here to intercept the northeastern cult, and that's these guys right here. So if you keep heading north, you will also again come across this optional, and they're essentially going to just keep sending in waves of guys. So just make sure that you are prepared for additional waves here. Once everyone is defeated, or almost everyone in this case, you will get the experience for it. Again, not a whole lot, but it's a little extra experience for not a lot of additional effort. At that point, we can head back. We got some lizard folk over here. And we can grab that chest that's at the top of the waterfall. Right here. So grab that chest. And this chest here, random loot, nothing special. But it is free loot, and it did bring you to that optional there. Now, if you are just wanting to go through it quick, obviously you would just ignore this whole path up here. So heading off to the left, you'd defend the camp, you'd shrine if needed. Once you were done that part, you just want to make your way to the southern aspect of this room, or the southern section of this room, not aspect, sorry. And you'd make your way to the war hospital. Now at the war hospital, you don't actually want to fight here. Rather, you're going to want to make an immediate right and just fight them right here at the gates. Essentially, these lizard folk are coming in to attack the people, but if you catch them right away as they're coming in, they'll never get the aggro of the villagers there, and it becomes a very easy experience to get. All you gotta do is just kill them here. There they are. Again, just over 1,000 experience for that. And then again, continue through our passage here. and you would want to continue right up to this section. Now this section here has a whole lot of traps, so you do want to take your time going through them, and you want to go slowly as they have a very small radius to disable, almost the same size as it is their explosion. So you kind of want to be at the very edge. Now as you can see, these are counting towards our disabled traps. Now with these traps, not only are they a poison booby trap, but additionally, if you step on and activate any one of them, it's going to slam the door shut, both the front and the back, locking you in here, at which point you have enemies at the top on both sides that are able to use their ranged damage and shoot you. Now there is a little bit of a trick to this if you don't have a trapper. And the trick is, aside from this trap here, which is kind of hard, but you just want to hop in and kind of head directly to the corner, at which point you can actually hug the wall almost all the way to the end. And that is the easy way, especially if you are trying to just speed through this. You're not worried about grabbing these traps. Like I am here. I really am grabbing them because I really do enjoy the magical trap parts. I have a lot of friends who play trappers, and you can use these magical... Oh, I did not see that one. So here's a good example. So as you activate them there, you kind of get waylaid. Now there is a ladder right there, but we're range damage, so we don't even need the ladder. Alright. Once everybody's dead again, it does open up for you. Alright, so let's head back to our trap. But yeah, as I was saying, I do have a lot of friends who do enjoy playing trappers. And on a trapper, there is a web trap that can be created, which requires some magical trap parts. So I like to help them out whenever possible. Alright, so here we are. Now at the end of this, again, if you hadn't set off any traps, awesome. You just head through. Now again, we have two sections we can head. Left leads us just to a shrine. Now it's kind of a trap as you approach. They are going to hop down from the top, attacking you. But it is just a small group, so it's not too difficult to deal with. And then once they're dealt with, you do have a free shrine. So if you need, you can always come back to this one here. On the right side, this is the direction that you need to go. Again, you can have enemies popping down from that grate there, as well as right here. And yeah, so just be prepared for another fight. At this point, you're going to want to make your way the rest of the way to this camp here, which is the southern camp. Now this is actually the kind of meet up point. If you went the other direction, so from here, instead of heading off to the left, which is right on the map, you would come down here, reach here. You would actually do the similar thing, heading over here. You would have a different camp, and then eventually you would reach your way down here. So I'm actually going to pause right here for a little bit and not do this camp just yet. Rather, I'm going to head back to the start of the quest, so I do apologize. It's going to take just a moment here. And that way I can show you, if you happen to take the other path, just what you're looking at for there. Now, if you happen to have a very strong party, you can of course split up your party, having half of them go one direction, half of them go the other direction. This will really just assist you in getting that full bonus for traps, kills, and breakables. Alright, so I do apologize here going back. If you want, by all means skip ahead in the video to whatever part applies to you. Alright. And you'll notice here, as we are actually backtracking, do have enemies spawning in. So that is another thing to point out. If you are backtracking like myself here, to be able to go get all the bonuses, or simply just to explore, or if you happen to need to go AFK at the start of the quest because you needed to use the bathroom, be prepared. Even if everyone has been cleared, on the way back you still might run into enemies. So again, just be prepared for that, as we don't want you to, well, die. Alright, so here was the split, was right here. So we had gone left. This time we're going to head off to the right hand side, kind of show you what happens here. So like the other one, we do come across immediately to a group of lizard folk. We're then going to reach... Ooh, we got a Fear Reaper over there. We're then going to head into this section, which at this point actually has more enemies than it normally would, because at this point you would only have a few enemies, and a lot of them spawned in after you would have on your way back, rather. So you'll notice here, at one point there were barriers, and we actually are still hitting the barriers despite them having been torn down. So like right here, and yeah, so if you would come this way first, they would still have all these enemies, they'd still have the barriers up, and you just make your way down here. And you'd keep heading until you reach the shrine, and here is the village here. Now at the back here where the shrines are, just on this side though, towards the back wall, we are actually going to have a hidden door. On the other side of the hidden door, we have a bunch of spell wards. So again, you can disable them for additional use of trap. As well, it also gives a chest. Now, as you notice, we still do have a glow to the room. It means that there's more spell wards. You'll notice once we get our last spell ward here, it will actually darken the room, showing that all the traps are gotten. You're clear to get the chest. Now again, random loot, but it gives you a secret door. Not only that, we get a lot of breakables on this side, and it gives us additional traps. So again, if you are wanting all the bonuses, definitely got to come on both sides. Alright, so again, we have our crest, we have our elder, Have our lovely hireling over here. Hopefully they don't die this time. And again, same thing. We're going to talk to the elder, the camp leader, and then we are going to defend the camp. Now they do come again out of the grate here. And kind of just rush in here. So again, any type of good crowd control, that will really, really help. I got the wrong rune arm on. Oh no. Alright, so it does seem he got stuck. Yeah, you definitely want to make sure again that they're not attacking the village leader. Which, so far, he's being left alone. However, it does look like Haystack might not make it out of this one again. But ultimately, they are a hireling. Alright, here we go. So, at that point, as you see, we did get our crest. We were able to save them. Awesome, and now we can just head down and around. There's, again, a shrine, which was around the corner here. If you need. And then at that point, you can head towards our last camp, so it kind of circles back. Again, as you can see, more spell wards. So this path here definitely has way more traps than the other one.
Strange glow suggests that there's something unusual about the corridor ahead.
Alright, so these ones, as you see, they don't actually spawn in like the other ones were. My spot's not picking them all up. But again, once you get them all, that greenish glow will also disappear. There we are. Oh. And again, a whole bunch of thugs. Now, as you can see, even after they break, they are kind of focused on them, so it's not too hard to sneak past. Or kill them, rather. And again, it leads you to the camp on this side. So ultimately, not too bad. This camp, however, there are several sides of attack. So you'll have one coming from there. I'm going to actually drop a turret just as a distraction. There'll be one coming from the central part of the camp, and one coming all the way over there as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring the hireling into the center of the camp, and we'll start. So we're going to talk to him. As soon as it starts, it does lock the doors on either side. Now they do have levers to open them up. But again, as you are attacking, it mentions that they drop down from the center. So you do gotta be careful. And if you are solo, it is difficult, as again, there are just so many. Now, as you are fighting, eventually the guards on either sides of these gates will be defeated, again, unless you are fighting with a group. And you split up nicely, but because unfortunately I am just solo, that's a whole other story. So that's what I was talking about with the gate defenders falling. It does mean that they are now able to drop the bridge there. And they're going to head in to attack. Now, we do got to watch out, as they may make their way towards our Elder. So if we do want the full bonus, fortunately it does mean we got to get the aggro. And take them on. So there we are. Once you've defeated everyone, we do actually have one additional section we can check, which is down here. So on the western side, just to the south, we do have a little extra optional path, which does have some additional enemies, some lizard folk, which you can kill to again boost up that conquest skill. Now, as you notice, we already have conquest, and we still have a whole other section to go through. Now, the reason that is it wasn't really designed for you to be heading down both paths. So if you do head down both paths, getting conquest is super easy to do. It also, as you see, extends the length of this quest by more than double again. Unless, of course, you have two groups of people. You know, it's honestly not worth doing both sides. So again, fast way, from that first split, you head left, do the camp, again, head to the end of the camp, down to here, you've got a little war hospital, finish off the war hospital, head down around, do the second camp. You can be in here by about 10 minutes into the quest, and done this section. Again, once you're done, grab your back crest, and you want to just head south. Now this will provide you to the, or lead you to the end of the quest. Before you get here, you do have a bunch more spell wards, which will provide some additional traps. As you can see, even after we've gotten all those extra traps from the other path, we still don't have our first bonus. So typically speaking, when people head down one path, they just disable enough traps on the left hand side here, so that can actually sneak through and to the sockets safely. If, however, you want to get the rest of the spell wards, be it a personal rule or whatever, you can obviously do that. Now, having done both sides, you'll notice again, still 36, still don't even have our first bonus. And that's because every time one of those enemies places down a poison trap, it is increasing the total number required to complete. Alright, so once you head down that path to the east here, you come into another group of lizard folk. And if you're lucky, not as many reapers. So once all your lizard folk are defeated, again, you just want to continue east. And around the corner. Now at this point you are at the end fight. Now again, this end fight doesn't start right away, and actually doesn't start until you make your way down towards that individual right there. It will actually spawn in right here and a little bit down here. So if you prepare yourself just at the bottom of the stairs and right at the top, kind of in the center of the square here, those are good places to start it. Now as we approach this guy, he's going to rush over, and here's where everyone spawns in. Now this boss fight is going to constantly spawn in additional trash mob enemies as they get injured. So a trick to this one is, if you're not actually fighting the boss and you just focus on trash, eventually you have nothing but the boss left. So in order to avoid yourself from getting overwhelmed, work on the trash, deal with them, and then move on to the boss. Another thing is, what happens right away is they actually head over. Oh, here's our next wave. Just kind of mentioning with her reinforcements here. And you can actually drag her a decent ways down this hall safely without having to worry about her despawning or anything like that too, so bear that in mind. Another thing is, if you just head straight into the camp here, you don't provide any defenses or backup back here, they will actually immediately head into and fight you down over on the other side of the cavern. Alright, so here we are. We should be on our final group. So I like, personally, kiting her up and down the hall here, as with the improved precise shot, we can hit every enemy that is following us, making it, well, fairly quick to kill everyone. And then after a while, she will, of course, fall. Go ahead and kill the trash that's left. And that's it. Now, as you notice, we do still have only Vandal, but we do have a bunch of breakables here, which if you break, it will give you Ransack. If, however, you choose to get one side at this point, you generally get only up to Vandal if you're lucky. A lot of times it's only Mischief. But heading down both paths, you'll actually get additional loot chest here as well. So there is kind of a little bonus, but again, not worth the reward. At the end, go ahead and talk to the guy.
You are
It gives you the reward, as you see, 33,036 minutes. If we would have split up, sent half and half, you can get this done in 10 to 15 minutes. It's actually a fairly quick quest. And again, at the end, you can grab some loot. Awesome. Some of which being named loot. And should grab that. And that's it. From here, you're gonna actually want to head out of Harvest Hall here. And by heading out this door, it's gonna put you in a small camp right here. Which, once you've completed this quest here, it actually allows you access to come in and out of this gate. Basically stating that it must find a way to earn your trust. And that's how, is by completing this quest here. It also has you a small little general vendor, which you can repair and sell, which I'm actually going to have to go through later. And then our next quest is right here around the corner, and that is our warehouse district. So to get here, I'm going to just show you quick here, is you would want to head north through the rubble. And just right around the corner, and again, that will lead you right here to our next quest. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been a blast, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one all.